Back with another designer draft today. We're actually doing a second parter on Cliques of Nylin. We've got our good old friend StasisBot reached out to me on Discord, asked if I would be perhaps interested in bringing back the series and firing it up. And it looks like we're already at 4 out of 8 drafters. So there's a high chance that this fires, hopefully, because, otherwise it would be kind of a shame. Drafts usually take about good 25 to 30 minutes, depending on if people have seen the draft before. I will be drafting slightly slower than I normally do. I like taking my time. I like looking at some of the cards. But of course, we won't be reading every single card. It would just be too long. So imagine this is like a draft on Arena. We're going to go through. I'm going to highlight cards that look powerful, and I'm going to try and draft something different than I did last time. We're just going to check the card list while we wait for everything to fire. I have a feeling, and if I remember correctly, I think the last time we drafted, we were in Jund. So let me look what I had. No, I think we were at Naya. I think we had an Out with a Bang deck going. So let's try and lean into some different colors. Hopefully some of our early packs give us some stuff. Yeah, I think we were Naya. I'm looking really quickly here. I'm going to hope that maybe we see something more in blue and black that we're going to want to take. There was a few things I saw last time that I was very interested in. A lot of the minion decks is kind of interesting. So hopefully we can see how things go. It is a faction set based around your traditional three colors here and 3 color pairs, triads. And it is shards versus wedges. So a nice little return to Alara colors. And there's a lot to be excited for. The set is really cool. We're still holding out at 4, so hopefully we get a few more. I'm going to take the opportunity just to go back real quick and check again what our draft archetypes are. So we have allied color pair archetype. So white-blue is vigilance, counters, and counterspells. We've got blue-black flying creatures to the graveyard. Black-red, menace, sacrifice. We have red-green, trample, ferocious, which I think is what we were leaning into last time. Green-white, lifelink, and heroic. And then, of course, you can play shards. So you can play Esper, Surveil, Grixis Minions, Jund Treasures, Naya Power Matters, and Bant Counters. So, regardless, it looks like we're firing. We're going to have some bots maybe in the queue, depending on how many other people jump in. Yeah, I'm actually really interested in trying to go for the Minions deck package this time around. I think it will be a nice change of pace, but we'll see what our opening rares are. I'm going to assume that we are still following old booster pack design. I do not believe that these have been switched over to the new play boosters, so you should still only assume 1 rare, 3 uncommons, your general 9-10 commons, maybe a fixing land in here somewhere. In fact, we can check real quick. Yep, so 1 rare slot, 3 uncommon, 10 commons, a duel, and there's a reminder, because there is, if I go all the way down, the cliques have a special ability. Depending on which one you've picked, they get to activate one of these abilities. It's very cool, the pledges. So actually, I can maybe mouse over that one for you right now while we wait. Ooh, my lord. Little too close. All right, so pledge is create any white or red, in this case, which is a clique enchantment token. And if you already control a clique, instead you can activate the pledge without paying its cost. So when you get the enchantment token, you can then pay 4 into it to activate it. But if you've already got it, you get to freely trigger it every next time that you pledge. So very cool thing. Yeah, so they each obviously play into their mechanics. The first one surveils. Second one creates a minion with Decayed, a treasure, +2/+2, and then tap something and put a counter on it. And they can all, of course, only be activated at sorcery speed. Otherwise, things would be just a little hectic, especially at common. So, at the same time, you can always check out all these cool featured communities here. Custom Magic, great server, big server for a lot of your, obviously, custom Magic design needs. They also host the Revolution Custom Standard format, which is a fantastic sister format to MSEM. We don't currently have a featured communities thing, but I am hoping to submit one soon because I feel that we are, obviously just missing out here. I haven't had a chance to visit many of the others. Obviously, X-Mage Draft Historical Society, pretty well known. Cube Talks, Gauntlet Leagues, Jank Divers, and Limited Perspective. A lot of cool things. All right, one last minute, then we're firing. So this is always exciting. It's nice being able to go through someone's, pet project, the thing they've been working on for so long, and just give some fun feedback. So this isn't made to be a in-depth look at everything that they've done, which is more, I leave that more for the reviews that I have to do as a council member for MSCM, where I really have to deep dive a set. But what I enjoy about doing these drafts, and I really wish everyone who submitted to MSCM would at least fire one of these, is it lets you get a chance to see how the set feels. When you just look through a set visual spoiler, it's fine, but I feel you're missing something, and actually drafting the set gives you such a better perspective on the set as a whole, and really how it feels, how the cards, and like you notice things like maybe there's a lot of effects missing at, for example, 2 or 3 mana, and that's a problem. But you might not notice that if you're just browsing through a visual image. So I much prefer having a chance to see every set at least once through a draft, and then doing a deep dive once I absolutely have to for sets that have submitted. So we're up to 7, which is good. Back down to 6. Someone's flickering in and out here. But we're definitely firing. So whether or not it's with a bot or two, we'll see if that player sticks around. Usually, if you see a name like player C68, there we go. They just haven't changed it. So here we go. Here's the ready check. So I hope you enjoy, and let's take it away. We got a really cool new pack animation, by the way. Hopefully it looks nice on the screen. I'm really impressed with everything. Oh, that looks so good. Everything that draftmancer.com has done. Its creator is an absolutely fantastic person for continuing to support custom draft initiatives. So there should be no timer, so let's just take a few seconds here, look through the pack. Of course, we said there's the reminder, the fixing, all the commons. We'll be seeing some gold cards at common, some strong uncommons like last time. And let's start with checking out our rares. So we have a board wipe, seems to be here. Choose any number. We can nuke all multicolored, all monocolored, or all colorless. I'm actually quite tempted to start with this. If we can heavily lean into a multicolored build in white, we can actually nuke mono, and that would make a big difference. White could lead us obviously back into Naya, though I'd be more tempted to try and play more into white-blue or something that I haven't tried before. Looking at my uncommons, some decent stuff. Create a treasure token, 2/2 for 3. Sack treasures to gain control of stuff is pretty nice. Whenever player attacks, stun counters, and this one grow. Nope, on that creature, okay. 3/3 vigilance for 4, and then obviously Storm Ascendant. I'm trying not to start with a 3-color card that really just locks you into something. Here's a expendable friendo that I would be very interested. 2/2 Decayed for black, but you can exile it to bring back another creature. So if I was just doing this purely for fun, I would probably hard pick the expendable medic and just try and build the minion deck that I'm so interested in. But I think I'm going to start today with Chromatic Rift, pick up the board wipe, and see where that takes us. Immediately past another white-based rare. We've got a 4/4 lifelink for 5. That's always good. Whenever it attacks, if its power is greater than its base power, create a number of 1/1 colorless soldiers equal to the difference. Oh, interesting. We've got people already in my chats. Aw, isn't it great? It's a spam. Let's delete them. Oh my gosh. I really wish that there was a better way of moderating this. As a new, just part-time streamer. Never great, but I'll take care of that later. That's why I have don't show chat visually now, because this happened last time and I was really annoyed. Okay, so seems like we're leaning back into what we did last time, but sometimes it's the correct thing. We know we've seen a diplomatic alliance, and there's some other stuff here that we could take. So I'm actually going to take that one. When something throws you the fixing that you need on top of it, I think that's a sign. All right, I'm feeling that perhaps that's what we want to do. So, and there again, we're being passed a free market. Tarkir gets +2/+2, and then as soon as we control a creature with power 4 or greater, once a turn, policies, you can mark a condition. And if we control a creature with toughness 4 or greater, of course a 4/4 would work. We can only mark once each turn a condition, and then after that we get something cool, which is whenever you attack, double someone's power and toughness. I'm just going to grab the free market. Oh, Stasis, I really wanted to try something new, but, when you go Chromatic Rift, Revisionary, Free Market, Penwrath District, sometimes, you just have to listen to what the set tells you. So, let's see what we're going here for. We want big power, and especially power 4 or greater. Let me just double check to make sure I'm not yeah, so it's Trample Ferocious, Power Matters. So if power is mattering, lifelink 3/1 here. Teach an attacking creature with lesser power lifelink. To teach it, put a lifelink counter on it. If it already has lifelink, put a 1/1 counter on it. So this could grow our smaller stuff, which is very interesting. 2/2 for 3. I'm actually leaning towards the 3/1 lifelink. There's a lot of the smaller stuff tends to have decayed from what I saw, and I'm not too concerned about trading down. And I'm very interested if we can get some stuff that are in the 2s to start putting lifelink on those creatures and then growing them up, especially if we can make it bigger. Obviously, approval number of colors among stuff is not bad either. You know what? I think I'm going to just take the Laboratory Mentor here. Still stick to our colors here. Okay, looking through. +2/+1 Vigilance, and it enters with a 1/1. So it's actually a 3/2 Vigilance for 3, and then it sticks around as an equipment. That's actually not bad. I actually remember really liking Test Subject Alpha. The fact that it comes in as a 3/3 Trample is just fantastic, and then you can start moving those counters. They're both pretty nice. I have a feeling that the Equip 4 is... Now, you know what? I think I'm going to lean more into Test Subject Alpha here, because once we start moving those counters onto, say, something like Laboratory Mentor, making it a 4/2, then we can start putting lifelink counters on Test Subject Alpha, and then we can put those lifelink counters on whatever we want. So there's good stuff happening here. Whenever we gain life, doesn't seem like we're doing a lot of that. We've only got Laboratory Mentor and Empowered Revisionary. I guess a green-white is lifelink. Let's keep an eye on this one, because it's whenever you gain life, you get a 0/0, and then you put X counters on it, where X was the amount of life we gained, and it only does it once. Not sure Flying White Surveil is what we want. X damage to each opponent is okay. It's a little on the top end. I'm willing to grab a Prosperity Project, see if we can grab a few more lifelink cards down the road. All right, a little bit of removal here, 4 damage to a creature, and if we control the creature with Menace, won't necessarily happen, but removal is removal, though Gerrymander is more of what I'm looking at for here right now as a 2/5 Vigilance, which means, Laboratory Mentor can give it lifelink, and then we can pay 2 and give things +X/+X, or X's number of colors, and we might be up to 3 colors easily. Urban Sunscape might be interesting here, but I think I'd rather the first Gerrymanderer than the Urban Sunscape. There's going to be a land in every pack, so the chance that we pick at least 1, 2, hopefully 3 at least of these up is quite a bit higher. The Pledge is always good. 2/3 lifelink that pledges is fine. I'm still think I'm going to take that little friend first, and then we'll see from there. Okay, we're back at creating a treasure, sacking a treasure to gain something. I might just like it as a card that gives a treasure. The problem with that is we're already getting kind of a bit loaded on 3, so I'm looking at something smaller. This 2/1 lifelink here that can tap is actually slightly more interesting to me right now. X damage to each opponent is obviously fine, but I think I'd rather the early game card here and see where we go from there. Attacks Pledge. Here's what I was talking about. We have our Diplomatic Alliance. So again, when you cast it, you copy it. So this actually gives +2/+2 to 2 things. And yeah, they're auras, but there's quite a few cards that care about the power being bigger. And I'm still trying to keep my eye on more multicolor creatures if possible. But there haven't been as many yet. I think I'm going to take the first Diplomatic Alliance here, and if I can see a second one, that would be great. I think here it's the Ambassador. It's a 5/2 that forces something to be blocked, and then something can't be blocked. Basic land cycling is actually really nice. I think that's an easy one, and it's a multicolored card for what we're trying to do. Resourceful Hireling can create a 1/1 colorless... No, 1/1 colorless robot or a treasure, which is not bad, and it's the only thing really in our colors. Look at all the minion stuff going on here. Oh, well. I'll take the Resourceful Hireling here. I don't know if it'll make the final cut, but, you know, we'll start with that. +2/+, so that whenever it attacks, we pledge. The red cliques are, again, create a 2/2 treasure token or +2/+2. So it might be nice to, whenever we attack, something gets +2/+2. Already on a 2/0, but Test Subject Alpha is just so good in our deck. I don't think we can pass that up. Here it's a very easy Enforcer's Baton, and then Codename Cicada. I'm not sure we're keeping that, and then we'll throw the... we'll throw them here. I am fine with putting the 1-drop there because I don't currently think it's going to be part of our deck. So, and I'm not sure we're keeping Resourceful Hireling either. So I'm willing to just tuck that in away for now. There's a world where we just stay green-white, unfortunately. I mean, it's fine. A board wipe is a board wipe if ever we're on the back. I'm not going to be upset with having it. And the fact that we're green-white means we can actually basic land cycle for the red. And we can keep all the rest, and it would just be splashing for free market. So let's try and stay more on the green-white lifelink power path than the red-green. But obviously, if we're being given great cards like Urban Twin Motors, we might just lean into it. So let's see what else we got. Esper's got a 3/2 flash flyer. Target player reveals their hand. Yep. So hand tap, exiles, then put counters. This is a really good piece of removal. I loved Urban Twin Motors the last time we drafted. It's a double strike 2/3 for 4, but whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get to untap a target permanent, which can make a big difference. And things that I would like to see come back to us, things like Retaliatory Outburst, Bouncer for Hire. Nope, that's the non-land source. I'm looking at. Demolition Team enters and teaches Trample. I might want to see... Proletarian Rabble, maybe? Haste, Trample, not sure about that. There's not a huge much. I think I'm fine with taking Twin Motors and hoping Outburst comes back around. Charity Match, teach something lifelink. It fights up to one target creature you don't control. I think that's where I'm leaning just by a quick glance around. Pump seems fine. Giving something Defender and then exiling it could be nice. Boardwalk would be nice to eventually pick up. Let's try and grab a few of these midway through the pack. And... this could be okay. We're not bringing back, like, I guess our enchantments. Some of them are pretty decent, so we can keep an eye on that. But Charity Match is, I think, the easy pick here. We've got Instigating Directive. It's 4 to choose a target creature you control. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player this turn, we draw that many cards. If we spent red, it gains Trample. If white was spent to cast it, it gets +1/+1. It's decent, but I actually think I'd rather lean maybe into Anesthesiologist as a 2/3 that whenever it attacks, teach it lifelink, because the first one is the lifelink counter, and then it starts growing. Triumphant Herd is not bad. Brazen Blackcoats is fine, and again, we're going to keep an eye on the lands as we head into the early middle of the pack. Whenever it attacks, Pledge is always nice, but I like being more low to the ground. Let's take this Anesthesiologist here. Second free market is fantastic. We've also got an Ambassador for more fixing. Ram Through is always great. Again, I don't think we're the Change Allegiances deck, so let's just pick up a second free market. Remember, they are legendary, so we can't really get to the other one, but I might be in the market for having at least 2 of them just to guarantee that we get to it, and in case we lose one of them, we can always bring it back, so maybe they don't expect the second one. Whenever land enters the battlefield, we can pledge. So yeah, our 3s are being really high. I'm not finding a lot of the 1-drops that I think I want. But a lifelink that ETBs put a counter is never bad. Whenever land enters, pledge. This might be the better one, because just whenever a land enters, giving +2 or making a treasure could make a huge difference, especially in our fixing. So as much as I like the other stuff, I think I'm going to go with that first. Still keeping an eye on getting some... There we go. So like a 2/1 first strike, as long as it's our turn, isn't bad. Whenever it enters, teach something vigilance. Okay, yeah, that could be interesting. I'm slightly leaning towards Ram Through just because the creature deals the damage. And even though we don't have trample, having our lifelinks smack would be important. Target something gains indestructible and teach it lifelink might be more fine on the wheel. Let's see, we're at 17 cards. We're at very little removal. Let me just split into 2 rows so I can kind of see what we've got going on here. We've only got a charity match and a chromatic rift. I might really just want that first ram through. As we grow things, you know, being able to punch for a 5 and maybe a lifelink 5. So ram through is fine. Okay, what do we got here? Some more 3s. Everything's at 3. Oh boy. 3/3 trample for 5. Whenever you attack, something gets +2/+0 in trample. I remember, I think, picking this the last time. I quite like it on things like following up an Urban Twin Motors with a Mutinous Insider is not bad. Probably not running Cabinet Recruiter. And we're not running enough target spells or abilities. I think this might be a good turn for a Mutinous. Okay, now normally I'd like to start picking up some of these lands here, but maybe someone's grabbing a lot of them. And if that's the case, we're really going to have to grab a few. Come pack 3. 3/3 for 3 enters pledge and then sacrifice a Clique 2 pledge, which is really interesting. It lets you kind of like cycle them around, which is really nice. That's fine. I'm looking at everything else, and again, I think we're leaning a little bit away from red here. In fact, the fact that there's, 2 free markets, we're just kind of splashing for our golds, means the Minister of Utility might be nice. If we start with the maybe Vishanki, and then we can switch Vishanki up to Penwrath after we've ramped up. I think this is where we get Retaliatory Outburst. I'm happy to have that piece of removal. We are going to get counters among permanents I control. I'm not sure I'm in the market for that. Escalated tensions could be good. Sorcery speed, big pump is potentially risky. I'm going to grab my first change allegiances, but leave it in the sideboard. I think with double free markets and then Alliance, Prosperity Project, Baton, it might be something good for us to bring back. Here I'm going to take the Magnetic Rhetorician here. I don't think I want the second change allegiances. Okay, I'll take the Main Street, but I'm not sure I want to have early reds. We'll see on how things go. We'll take the Seasoned Spy Master here. I'll hedge my bets. I'll grab some of these cheaper... See, and anyway, we managed to pick up an Escalated Tension. 2. Yeah, they are not high picks. Okay, final pack. We are making really good progress on this set here. I wish there was a little more to say, but a lot of what I said last time. We're kind of leaning into something very similar, but leaning more into the life link part of it. We've got like half a lifelink deck going around here. So hopefully pack 3 has some interesting cards for us. Again, our gold is kind of on the top end with Insider, Revisionary, Ambassador, Twin Motors. So if ever we get to those, a Chromatic Rift can be really interesting. But if you really need to, and someone's going like fully gold, we can nuke all of that. If they have a lot of robots, we can nuke all of that. Rift, I think, is still going to be good no matter what. All right, let's see what we got. All right, we got, hey, this is a 2-drop in the color that we want. It's being a combat on your turn. You may pay X. If you do, choose up to X. You must choose new targets for each mode. Teach something flying, lifelink. I think this is word for word the best card that we could, have wanted. But let's make a quick look around to see if we can hope to wheel some other stuff. I'm seeing another 2-drop here, an Inner City Scout, which is a 2/1. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control, untap it. Ability is very important because, these will trigger off of Penwrath Insurgency's ability, and it will also trigger on Teach because it's target, but we are definitely starting here with Genotype Splicer. And let's try and grab some more early game here because relying on getting to 3 is going to be a problem. We're already at 24. There's already cards that I can see myself cutting. Spy Master is a bit expensive. I kind of like having the pledge on every attack. We'll see how I feel. Mutinous Insider, maybe a cut. Technically, Penwrath is a cycle at 2. I want to keep it there because it's more likely that that's what I do with it than anything else. We're still not doing, we've got a lot of life. Even though it only happens once per turn, a single lifelink really pays off. So what do we have? This is... Stasis, you're making me read out big hard words. Disestablishmentarianism. Activated abilities of other artifacts can't be activated and sack it too. Okay. Grid card. I would like it for constructed. I don't think this is what I want for my deck right now. I am actually looking at the bottom of the pack here, and I'm actually interested in Eager Voter. It's a 2/3 lifelink for 3 that when it enters, pledge. And in fact, I might like it more... do I like it more than Anesthesiologist? I'm not sure about that. I think I like both. But I don't want to get rid of my test subject alphas. It might just be Minister of Utility for now. We'll see. We're at 22. Maybe cut Retortion. Maybe down here I just cut one of the free markets, especially because of the legendary part, and just say, hey, I need some of this stuff. And Enforcer Baton is nice, but it might not be... It might be too much of a glut here. Okay. Unless something is absolutely absurd, busted, we must take. I very much would like to take that land. Okay, not seeing it. So I'm going to grab this first Urban Sunscape, which is important here. So that's my, I have 2 fixing lands. I have the District and I have a Sunscape. I definitely want more. And here it is. So Senate Spires is nice. Add a mana of any color among permanents I control. Chances are we'll get to those permanents, but if there's ever a moment where we're out, I'm going to be very upset that this doesn't fix. I think I still want to take this first, and I'm not seeing, again, a card here that screams, you have to take me. So, second Urban Sunscape. Would like to get a green-white one more than anything else. I do like Inner City Scout here. I'll take Inner City Scout. I will take a Demolition Team. I remember Vertical Integration. Really funny. So as additional cost to cast the spell, tap any number of untapped creatures you control, and a creature gets +X+Y, where X was the combined power, and Y was the combined toughness of creatures tapped to cast a spell. It kind of kills out of nowhere. So there is a world, obviously, where, you tap a few cards here, and then you suddenly turn in Urban Twin Motors. But the fact that you have to tap untapped creatures means if you're not running a lot of Vigilance... We have some. This one can teach Vigilance. There's a world where that's okay. I still am looking at my numbers. 1, 2, 3. Let's check real quick. Basically, I know we're not at basic lands yet. I wish that this thing was, just creature. Hold up. It's okay. We've got quite a few creatures. Here it is. 2, 3, okay. 9, 11. Okay, we have enough creatures. And this is technically another one. I don't know. I just like a 2/2 for 2 that teaches something trample, but maybe we just take Vertical Integration and blow someone out with it. I think that might be correct. Here, what do we got? Destroy an artifact or enchantment. 3/2 trample that pledges... I don't want more 3/2s. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab the baton, but we're not going to play it. But if there's a world in where we want to rebuild a little bit and go more for a bunch of Vigilance into Vertical Integration, we can. I'm going to take that Boardwalk. Good cards. I won't lie, good cards, but we're already at cap, and I really want to have that fixing. We have enough gold that is important, including at lower costs, that I think it'll be an important thing to pick up. I don't like this. I mean, I do, but I don't like it for our deck. I think the correct thing here is... No, this is just a slightly bigger Inner City Scout. Untap it, it gets +1/+1 ability triggers on it. It's just the same card, right? This ability only triggers once, except this one's a 3/2 for 3 versus a 2/1. We're loaded up. I'm going to take this Trailblazer Anarch here as another 2/1 that has first strike when we attack. It makes it a good card to start putting counters on. Let's pretend we're Arena. I'm not taking these. I'm going to take the gems, so to speak, and then I'm going to, stick it in the sideboard. I'll take another Inciter, but I don't think I'm playing it. If we're really going in a pod, I'll now pick up Scathing Remarks, because someone stops us from gaining life is going to be a little annoying. So I am going to take it, but I'm not playing it. Battlefield Tactician. I think I'll just take the flyer here. Maglev. doesn't really matter at this point. And our last card, I am definitely staying at 23 and 17 lands here with a 3-color set like this. Directive, which I don't think we are playing. So I think we're doing all right. We want some stuff that's big. We have some lifelink, a lot of teach lifelink. This one can teach it. This one has lifelink. This is a lifelink, teach lifelink. So our life should be fine. And if we can give like lifelink and then a huge pump on vertical integration or some stuff, we can make some big creatures with Prosperity Project. And this, will just make huge army of 1/1s. So I think that's the deck, which means that I'm just going to throw in the Sunscape, District, and Open Air Boardwalk. Like that. And then we're just going to tell the Draftmancer here, once the last card is picked, that we're playing... Oh, I hope that wasn't counting that. Did I miscount? No. Okay, 23. Good. 2, 3, 4. There we go. And we are playing 40 lands. It recommends 2 red. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't need the red for here. I still think, but we have a lot of red. I think I'm going to go down on 1, and I think it'll be actually more important to have that green for the cycling, a lot of our early removal. Though the double whites here, it's close. It's close. Very close. Obviously, the red, we're not really counting this right now. And we've already got 2 reds here and a lot of white. All of this is white. So I'm actually happy, and less of it is green, and that's what we need. So I'm actually going to go up to the 7th green, I think. Oh, that feels weird. 7, 5, 1, but we have 3 white. Okay, so it's more like 8 versus 8, 3 red, and then yep, okay, I think I'll go with that. So yeah, Stasis, another great draft. I'm really enjoying this set. It's definitely not the first time that I've talked about it. I hope to be able to play it in Constructed one day, but in the meantime, the drafts feel great. One day I would love to play the draft afterwards, but right now the point is just to get through these drafts and give it a check and talk about the little stuff. I hope you fire another one soon, just because I keep ending up in the same deck. That's twice now, and I'm sure people who are watching or myself would just like to try something else. So hopefully next time the packs feed us a good minion starter, because that's definitely the one that I want to try. But again, this set is always fantastic. I'm glad that people are drafting it nice and quickly, and I think I'm going to wrap it up here, and I will post the video on YouTube as soon as I get the chance. It might not be tonight, but as soon as I can, and then I'm going to share it over here in the draft channel over on Discord. So for everyone who's watching, I guess I hope you enjoyed, and stick around. If people ever reach out to me and want me to draft their sets, I'm usually always down. It takes moments to set up, but in the other sense, hopefully I get back into some streaming. Just haven't had a lot of time lately. So have a good one, and take care, everyone.